me get this up. How's the market? What's the market doing? But honestly, the market does not matter as much as your life circumstances. These transitions in life that happen, that now you need a real strategy, no matter what the market is, to accommodate your life transition, whether that's a divorce, having more kids, expanding your family, growing, or I also say on the other end of the diapers is caring for elderly, having to bring in an aging parent or a loved one. Maybe your home doesn't accommodate that, and now we're having to make a move to accommodate multi-generational living. Okay, deployment, having to sell your house and move away, or you're coming back from deployment, your PCS, and you're moving to a new city. So how deployment can affect your real estate. Diamonds, getting married, merging your lives together, losing a loved one, and having to, you know, think about the estate planning, trust, will, things of that sort that come into play. Well, it's not always, I can't afford this because I lost my spouse. It's now, how do we keep our property and inheritance and our legacy within our family? And the last one I have is degrees, diplomas, having to move because you elevated and increased your education. Maybe you're moving to another job, moving for a job, or you're going off to college. So those are some of the topics that we are going to cover over this series over the next 5 weeks. I'm limiting it to five because I actually came up with five more for season two. So you'll have to stay tuned and see how season one goes. The purpose of this podcast is to bring community together here in Fort Worth and for this to be a place to network and grow and build each other up. So, for each category, I am going to have distinguished guests, speakers that I'm featuring on the podcast. I'm going to have a divorce attorney. I'm going to have a veteran that's going to speak on deployment. I'm going to have somebody in early childhood and intervention speak on diapers. I may have a coach and potentially athletic director join me for diamonds, an estate planning attorney. So some really, really great guests that I look forward to you all meeting and, hearing what they have to say of how these life transitions impact your life and real estate. But first, I wanted you guys to have the opportunity to get to know me, your host, and let's let's go from there. So today I was actually going to have a softer approach and have Money Mario ask me a few questions, but Money Mario is sick, and so um, during prayer, this came up that, you know what, I actually had to present for the Irma Rangel School. I've had to do a speaking event, and that was the very first all girls school in Dallas, public school at that, and they invited me on career day to speak, and so I actually had a little slide deck already put together, so it's like, "Hey, you know what? I put a lot of time and energy into making that, and now I get to share it with you guys." So I just thought this was a great way for you guys to get to know me, and I could say all these things with a plain gray background behind me, or I can give you a visual presentation. So here we go. So a little bit about me. Growing up, I was born and raised in Corpus Christi, Texas. I grew up in a very small town over the Harbor Bridge called Portland, Texas. Very small, 15,000. It has definitely grown since then. Um, Corpus is home to Whataburger, Selena, the Texas A&M Islanders University on Island, the Corpus Christi Hooks baseball team, and home to the National Seashore. If y'all don't know, Texas actually has the longest drivable beach in all of America. So shout out to that. I was a cheerleader. I was a power lifter. I have one brother and two sisters. I'm a daughter and a sister. And I am a boy mom. But growing up, here are some of the things that I did. I was a Girl Scout from a little Daisy in pre-K all the way until they didn't I graduated from Girl Scouts, so I feel like that's what got my love and interest for nature and traveling, and just some of the things that I love and enjoy to this day. These are the sports that I did. I love water sports. I love skimboarding. I love paddleboarding, and I'm glad that my son is a water baby as well. My family, my dad hails from Trinidad and Tobago, small island in the West Indies. It's a few miles away from Venezuela, so just to give like geography. So it's one of the most southernmost of the Caribbean islands. My mom is from Boston. My grandfather graduated from Harvard Law. He was a civil rights attorney, and I am the youngest of four. So to speed up on time, I'm going to kind of just go through this very quickly. I started college as a computer science grad. I ended up changing to the College of Business. While I was in college, I got an internship and I started my career in the federal government at the U.S. Attorney's Office. And that propelled me to say, maybe I need to switch things up and go to school for law. And I had a lot of great federal agents pour into me and tell me, hey, I could see you being a very great attorney, but in undergrad, change your degree to something that just in case you don't go to law school, you could fall back on. So a lot of the people in the FBI, the IRS, ATF, they're like, hey, I really think that you should get something in business, like that STEM category. So I said, okay, I'll look into it. And they actually put me on game. These are federal agents, and they said, "Did you know that we actually make more than some of these attorneys here? So don't whatever you do, never do it for the money, but definitely follow your passion." So I got some great mentoring along the way in my career. So I ended up moving. I transferred schools from Corpus Christi to San Antonio. That's only about a 2.5 hour distance. I ended up graduating with my degree in accounting, like they said, and I changed from Department of Justice to Department of Defense. Then with that, I relocated to the Dallas-Fort Worth area because of job growth. So for me to be able to do the same job and get paid more and only be about 4 hours away from my family, I was like, "Why not?" And then looking at agency opportunities, there was so much room to climb up what they call the corporate ladder. But granted, this is public service, so to move up the ranks on the GS scale, I shall say. So with that, I got in as a cost price analyst with my accounting background, and that began traveling all over the US to different military installations, different military bases, and defense contractors to audit these major proposals. They would, say, this is how much it's going to cost to deliver this product. And then we, as your public steward and public finance person, would make sure that we are not overpaying and misusing our tax dollars. So I've been to places all over the U.S., from San Diego, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Boston, Virginia, Arizona, Ohio. So all over. And that actually piqued my interest into my, becoming a foodie and learning different cities, learning different real estate markets that were there. I would be gone for weeks at a time, from anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks. So like living in a hotel, but it's like, what am I going to do this weekend? And then I would randomly just go to open houses just to see what life would be like living there and just immersing myself in those cities while I was there. So I decided to further my education, get my master's degree. Um, I knew that I wanted to be a business owner, but I didn't know it would be in real estate. So I transitioned from cost price analysis into contracting. And what they do is, as a contracting officer, they negotiate and manage multi-billion-dollar contracts. So only a contracting officer can legally enter the government into a contract and terminate these contracts. So you have to trust your entire team of professionals. You have to trust your program managers, your engineers, software, quality assurance, industrial specialist. So, and I don't like to brag, but this is the opportunity to say that this was a very hard feat in a career to sit for the board it takes multiple contracting officers. They ask you very rigorous questions because at the end of the day, you are managing billions with a B, billions of dollars. So this is one of the only professions to where if you misuse, can actually go to jail. So they put you through a very rigorous, process of becoming warranted to expend the government's money. So, I transitioned into real estate, and I'm able to use a lot of my background, a lot of my corporate, public service, a lot of these tools and models and cost estimation is my approach, or better way to say is my financial acumen, right? To help clients with their real estate journey. So just doing life with, people that are in service and in helping veterans and working with a lot of veterans that are also civilians, retired from the service and are civilians. I would get to hear some of these painstaking stories, and I myself was married to a veteran, so I know what good service and good advocacy is and then bad. So a term we call in the office is water cooler talk. So a little bit of water cooler talk and hearing like, yeah, these things should not happen, these things are not okay. Um, I learned very quickly how to protest property taxes, how to just the way financial contract real estate transactions should work. And I've had my own personal transactions out Florida, what with land 5. So I've had good representation and I've had bad. And so I just made it a I want my clients to have the best experience. So I'll just say that I've taken a lot of good, bad to I'm very protective of my client's experience. So, um, it was very important for me to join a team. So I would say that was very pivotal in my real estate career as joining a team instead of trying to figure this out alone. Somewhere along the lines of me studying for my real estate license, I picked up a book and it said, "No one succeeds alone." And it really resonated with me that it really does take a team. In every profession that I've been in, it takes a team. So it was important for me to find the right team, and it wasn't about, "I'm gonna go after the most top producing team." I wanted to find a team that was aligned with my values, my family, my background, diversity, um, and so, that's how I ended up finding the Dallas property team. So, shout out to Brandon Dials and Kylie. And a big part of my why real estate is owed to my son in becoming a mother. So this is my boy. He became obsessed with water towers at age 4, and I mean, he would look up cities all over and be, "Mom, I need you to take me to South Lake. I need you to take me to Grapevine. I need you to take me to Forest Hill today. We gotta go see Mansfield." Like, just finding all these places of water towers, we had to go view them, and he needed to see, what generation, how old they were, and, like, project into the future of this water tower is gonna be replaced. And he would watch this one video of Plano knocking down the water tower and putting a new one up, and he's like, I wanna do this for the rest of my life." I'm like, "Okay." And so, driving around the city, I learned the geography, I learned the ins and out, I learned all these little towns, I learned about infrastructure, about how to go vertical before building horizontal, and so this passion was like, "Okay." So I really owe my why to my son because due to his curiosity and his obsession, just relentless of water towers and desire to understand the way that the world works and making this place better, I was like, "Okay, you know what? I need to do this. I need to do something, that really is hand in hand with that." So, one of the best things that ever happened to me, becoming a mom, which leads into my why. So I have a deep passion to help my clients not only today, but their long-term prosperity. Lots of talk about, how us friends trying to, we talk about sitting around and trying to figure out how to get rich. What stock is going to take off? You know, what what cryptocurrency? What do we need to be doing? Is it gold? Is it silver? Is it Bitcoin? Is it XRP? Like, what is it? We all have this. What is it going to take? But something that we all have in common is, you know what? You can't look the other way. That true wealth through real estate is key. It really is key. And so, as I've been a strong advocate for taxpayers, I take that same level of integrity to all of my clients and, to make really well-informed real estate decisions. It's not just about today, but it's about your entire future and making sure that I'm setting you up for success. So, and to speak on my values, in 2017, I went through this church program at Life Church. So shout out to my former pastor, Jerry Davis. This program called Kazone, and it's about finding purpose. And it was a full day workshop, and I loved that it dug deep. It dug really deep, to good things that happened to you, to bad things. You had all these sticky notes. You did all these things. You did a personality assessment. You did a spiritual test assessment, and then it even gave you potential career paths to take. And it's 2017. It told me real estate. I just fought it. I was just like, I'm not going to do that. If I'm going to do that, I need to um, I need to be on a team. I need to lead the team. I need to do the things, and I'm just not there yet. And so once my son started growing an interest, then I was like, okay, I really have to, lean into his own understanding and not just my own. And so one of my favorite verses is 1 Peter 4:10 about serving the Lord and serving others and use whatever gift you have. My gifts so happen to be hospitality, discernment, and teaching. So I just came to terms with, you know what? Trusting God more than myself. And I really do strive to live that balanced life, health, family, finances, work, fun, the things. And here's a little takeaway for you. The sun does not ask permission to shine, and neither do I. So that's a little bit about me, your host. And I really look forward to the next 5 weeks of getting connected with Camille and learning how these life transitions can affect and impact your real estate future, your goals. So let's see if I have any questions in the chat that I need to answer. I need to address. Here are all the ways that you can find me on social media, my phone number. Um, and then one last piece of news I want to share with you guys who joined in today was I got an email today, and it just so happens to say, Camille, congratulations. You earned your spot as the 2026 Fort Worth Real Producer Top Agent. This achievement is based on your 2025 MLS production and ranks you amongst the top agent out of roughly 15,000 in your territory. That's a huge accomplishment. So, congrats again, and we hope to see you at our first event in February as we celebrate the class of 2026, DFW Real Producers Team. So, that's it, guys. I am now officially a top producing agent of Fort Worth, and I could not have done it without my clients. And for all of my partners out here who have referred me, thank you very much. And I look forward to tuning in with you guys next week.